Hello everyone, happy Tuesday. I'm Carissa Wiley here for Pink Fresh Studio, and I am thrilled to be here creating with you today. We have so much to get to, so we won't dilly-dally too much, but I hope you're having a happy Tuesday. I hope everything is going well. It feels like fall here in California, and I'm not mad about it. Y'all know how I have been complaining of the heat for so long, and I am thrilled that it feels like fall. So I'm all ready to be cozy in my studio. I actually have a fresh cup of coffee here with me to get me through this morning's live stream. It's morning here in California, but I know that you may be watching in the afternoon time. Wherever you're watching from, let us know in the comments. We love to see all of that. I've seen Colorado, I've seen Washington, I've seen all kinds of different areas. So welcome, we're glad you're here. If you are watching on the replay, we are so glad you are here as well. A couple of things for all of you. We have some fun things going on today. We have some prizes to give away. If you are watching live, we have two Pink Fresh Studio $50 digital gift card codes to give away to you who are in that live chat today. So here's some ways you can win. You can chat along in the comments. The more, the merrier. You can help answer people's questions as they come up in that live chat. You can also share this live stream over in a Facebook group or in a text message, in an email to some crafty friends. Come back here, let us know that you shared it, and that counts as an additional entry. And we will pick those two winners before we finish up here today. Now, also, we love for you to do this, whether you're watching live or on the replay. It doesn't count as an entry, but we love it when you do this. If you could give this video a thumbs up, that really helps this video on replay and the reach of this video so that more people can find the crafty goodness here at Pink Fresh Studio. Now, if you are watching on the replay, we have not forgotten you. We have a couple of $50 gift card codes to give away to you as well. And the way that you will enter is that you will leave us a comment below. I want you to let us know what you love about today's card or the favorite tip that you picked up along the way. Leave that in the comments, and next week we will pick two winners for some $50 gift card codes. Doesn't that sound like fun? Also, for all of you watching, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications here on this YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our paper crafting and video tutorials, our live streams here. Clicking that notification bell will make sure that you're notified anytime we go live, anytime we post a video, and make sure that you are up to date on all of the Pink Fresh Studio goodness. And speaking of goodness, I have a couple of announcements for you that I don't want you to miss. Number one, you'll want to set your alarm for tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time. There will be another live stream here on the Pink Fresh Studio channel, and it is a live unboxing for the February 2026, yes, you heard me, February 2026 Create and Connect event. We're going to unbox all the goodies here that's here on this YouTube channel. So make sure you're subscribed and those notifications are turned on at 9 a.m. Central Time. In addition to that, you're going to be able to register for this Create and Connect event for February 2026 on Thursday, October 30th at 9 a.m. Central Time. So you need to set two alarms, one for Wednesday, one for Thursday, both at 9 a.m. Central Time, so that you don't miss your chance to register and see these fabulous goodies that are coming in this kit. I've already been playing with it because I am teaching one of the classes there, and I hope you'll join me. Now, if you want to get a notification in your email when it's time to register, you can go on over to the Create and Connect page right now. It will not show it as in stock or available to register for, but you can hit an item restock notification, and when that listing goes live, when you're able to register on Thursday at 9 a.m., then it will send you an email reminding you to register. So if you need help with that, that's available for you as well. Let me get things just situated here because I have one more thing. I know, so much to tell you this morning. I want to tell you about the weekly deal over, or the weekly promo over at Pink Fresh Studio. It's 20% off of all in-stock essentials dyes. This is, I wrote this down. It is good through October 30th. That is Thursday at 11:59 Central Time. You do not need a discount code, but this is for things like all those essentials dyes, the rectangles, the circles, the ovals, all those good, like staple dyes that we need in our stash to just kind of elevate our card. So don't miss your chance to save 20% on these. No code needed, but it is only available to you through Thursday, October 30th. And when they sell out, it's only available on what's in stock. So shop early to get the best selection. Now, have we talked enough? Let's go to the overhead. Let's get to creating. Today, I am creating with the Moonlit Blooms. I'm going to zoom you guys in just a touch. Let's do that. Okay. I think that's better. The Moonlit Blooms product suite from the new Flourish and Grow collection or release that just came to us. I believe it was last week. These weeks are getting mixed up. But look at this beautiful set. There is a cling stamp available. A lot of people ask why we do rubber cling stamps for certain stamps, and that's because sometimes when there's a fine line, like in this design here, it stamps a whole lot better with red rubber than it does with photopolymer. So depending on the design, we may choose a red rubber stamp over a photopolymer stamp. Excuse me for just a second. Now, there is also, thank you for that. I just needed to dab my nose a little. It started running all of a sudden. I'm going to be using the press plate today, but if you do not have a glimmer or a better press system available to you, pick up the stamp instead. You can create something very similar. I'm also going to be using the coordinating die as well as the stencil set, and I have a beautiful color palette pick for you. All of this is linked in the YouTube description below, so you can head straight over to those products. I'm going to combine it with the Octagon Grid. I haven't had a chance to use this yet, but it's a beautiful new cover plate die that is from the Flourish and Grow collection. So I'm going to start with my hot foiling, and before I went live, let's see, let's get the tape off the back. I went ahead and preheated my Glimmer hot foil system because I knew I was going to be doing some foiling. So it is already heated and ready to go. And I'm just going to position my press plate. Now keep in mind, this is a press plate, so it can be used with either the Better Press system or your Glimmer hot foil system. So I'm going to place this press plate onto my heated platform of my Glimmer hot foil system. Now I know it's ready to go because that green light is on. When you first turn it on, you'll only see the red light for the power. When it's at full heat, you will see that green light light up. Now there's a third light on your Glimmer hot foil system, and that is the timer button. I'm going to go ahead and hit the timer. You're going to see it blinking here. When that stops blinking, I know that my press plate should be good and hot and ready to go. Now for today's, Vicky Blackwell says, I need that cover plate now. Yes, you do. And pick up some essentials while you're over there. I'm going to do my hot foiling onto some Hammermill cardstock today because it's great for foiling. It's great for ink blending. And I'm going to be using my favorite hot foil, which is the Spellbinders Champagne Foil. So I have my rolls. In fact, I just did 2 more rolls and put them in here. I kind of pull them out and cut them into panels that are about A2 size so that I can just pull out a panel for foiling when I need it and I'm ready to go. So this is actually a scrap, which we can use for our sentiment, but I'm just going to pull out that panel so you can see it's all cut down and ready to go. It makes the process just a little bit quicker when I'm creating. And so I have my cardstock, I have my foil ready, my timer is done. I do need to grab the thin shim and the spacer pad that come with the Glimmer hot foil system because that's how I'm going to make my sandwich. And then I'm going to grab my Platinum 6 die cutting machine. So I'll just bring that all in here. Now, once this timer has run its course, this will be solid. I can remove the platform from the base of the Glimmer Hot Foil system. I'm going to take it over to my Platinum 6, and I am going to place the foil with the pretty side facing the pretty side of my press plate. So all the pretties go together. And then I'm going to take my cardstock and I will lay that on top. Then I'm going to add, my thin shim and my spacer pad right on top to complete the sandwich, and I'll run this through my die cut machine. Now I just moved some stuff around, so I'm just gonna make sure we're good, and I think we are. I can always redo it. It doesn't bother me. I'm pretty quick at foiling. So now I'm gonna run this through. Joining late from Sacramento. Love Carissa's designs. Thank you. Sacramento, that's my capital here in California. I'm sure you know that. Okay, so we've run that through. You can see the impression is made on the foil. So I can go ahead and remove the foil, and look at this. I have a beautifully foiled design. So pretty. And we're gonna add some color to that using the stencils here in just a moment. Another good tip, have foil sheets already cut. I love to do that. I've been doing it for quite some time. I actually store it in a stamp pocket with a piece of cardstock because the cardstock makes it easier to get the foil in and out in a stack. If you're trying to like place a piece of foil into that stamp pocket, it can be tricky without the kind of support of the piece of cardstock behind it. Now, I went ahead and added this. This is a surprise to Kathleen, but I already updated the supply list, Kathleen, so don't worry about it. But I'm grabbing a couple of sentiments from the Freesia Flourish press plate set. This is also brand new from the release, Flourish and Glow release. I keep saying grow. I want to grow. I want to glow too. Oops, I'm just falling all over myself here. So I'm placing these press plates onto my Glimmer Hot Foil system, and I'm gonna set the timer again. This time I'm gonna use a scrap piece of cardstock and a scrap piece of foil. So I'm just going to grab some scraps. Let's see, are we big enough there? We don't wanna go too small because, you know, that would be a waste if we mess it up. So I'll just grab this is a good scrap here. Don't worry about being late. We're just getting into the good meat of this. We're starting out with a little hot foiling. For those who don't know, we have a couple of giveaways. We have another live stream tomorrow featuring the unboxing of the February 2026 Create and Connect kit. So make sure that you set your alarm for tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central. And you can register for that event on Thursday at 9 a.m. Central. So for those of you just coming in a little late, I wanted to catch you up on that. Someone said, Stephanie says, I need to use my glimmer more. You do need to use your glimmer more. It really, it's really not a hard process. I understand that it can be intimidating in the beginning, but once you practice it, that muscle memory really comes through for you. It's a great way to add a ton of shine to your card. And y'all know I love something with a little bit of shine, a little bit of shimmer. And so, you know, I'm a fan of foil. In fact, we were talking about what I was going to use today, and we had decided on Moonlit Blooms, which is the product suite that I'm using. But then it was like, do I use the stamp or do I use the press plate? And Kathleen said, let's use the press plate. And I was like, yes, let's do that. Okay, so now I have my sentiments. Simply blessed to know you and grateful for your kindness. I have a couple of options I can use there. And now that I'm done with my foiling, I'm gonna go ahead and set my Glimmer Hot Foil platform out of my way so that I can do my stenciling. Now I have quite the color combo today. I have greens, I have oranges, I have pinks, and I have aquas. But I'm gonna tell you that my pinks are not from the same family. My greens are from a couple of different families. So we have olive, fresh pear, lush forest here. And also my teals are from different families. So I'm mixing and matching to create just kind of my own little combo here. But man, let me tell you, it's gonna be a happy combo when we're done. Now, this is a 4-piece stencil set. This last stencil set will fill in the little sparkles and the moon, which are not actually part of the press plate or the stamp design. So they're just meant to be like little accents that you can use. So I'm gonna actually skip stencil number 4. The die will die cut those elements out, so keep that in mind. But just to save a little bit of time, because I do want to ink blend a background with you all today, I am going to skip stencil number 4. So I'm going to start with stencil number 1. I have my foiled element here on the grip mat, and then I'm going to line up my stencil, and I'm just looking through to make sure that this is all lined up nicely, and I can kind of like maneuver it around until I get it exactly where I want it. And then I'm going to use just a couple magnets to keep this in place. Now, this is actually a very simple stencil set overall. Why does it looks weird. Okay, let me fix that. I'm a little crooked. I was like, it looks so weird. Okay, so I'm gonna use a few different green colors to fill this in. But because this is only like a 3-piece, 4-piece stencil set, there's not a ton of detail. You have lots of open areas, so you can explore some blending techniques a little bit more. Maggie Blair says, are the hot foil plates / dies made specifically for the glimmer? I just want to make sure I'm ordering right things for the glimmer. So what we're using today is actually a press plate, Maggie. And a press plate is made for either the Better Press system or the Glimmer hot foil system. So if you look and you see a Better Press or a press plate, and this goes across the manufacturers, then you can use it with the Glimmer hot foil system. And they are designed, the press plates are designed to work with both the Glimmer hot foil system and the Better Press system. So you get kind of a 2-for-1. Now, there are some probably older products in the shop that are called foil plates. Those that are still available that are called foil plates can only be used with the Glimmer hot foil system. So just make sure if you're picking up something that says foil plate, you're not going to be able to use that with the Better Press, but you can definitely use it with your Glimmer hot foil system. So I'm starting out with stencil number 1. This does all the greenery, and I am starting with Fresh Pear. I'm going to wipe up this, and I keep forgetting that I have these really cool new magnetic ink pad holders that I can use. So I'm starting with that. Then I'm going to move into Olive, and I'm going to add some like shading. So we'll go into kind of the base of the leaves and just add a little bit of shading to some of the areas. We won't go over the entire stencil, but we'll add some, what I like to call lights and darks. I like things to have a little bit of dimension, a little bit of variation in color. And you can see even when I did the Fresh Pear, you're going to notice it's darker in some places and lighter in the others. And that is going to contribute to the overall contrast and dimensionality of these elements when we get them all cut out. So I'm coming in with a 1/2-inch blending brush and my olive ink and adding some kind of dark areas to the base of the leaves. I can go up a little higher on some of these longer leaves if I choose, and just kind of do spots of darkness throughout, okay? I am not one of those, and I say this often, that thinks about light sources too much. I just like there to be some light areas and some dark areas. So we've achieved that with the olive, and now we're going to move on to Lush Forest, which is from a totally different color family, but it will work. Trust me, and it will look beautiful. I'm going to wipe up some of this extra ink on the stencils, and then I'm going to grab the blending brush for my darker green here. Is it this one? And I'm going to pick up a little bit of the Lush Forest. And again, I'm just gonna, not over the entire area where I've done olive, but I'm gonna bring some of this in to some of the areas where I've done the olive, and it's going to make some even darker areas on some of these leaves. So I'm not going in with as much as I did of the olive, but I'm coming in to some of those areas. And by using a smaller blending brush, I can really make sure that I'm only getting it in the areas that I want to get it in. So doing that. Beautiful color choices. I always learn new combinations from the lives. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad. And I hope that as you learn them, that you're inspired to try them out on your own and maybe try them in different ways. Like maybe in your card project, the green is more the focal point than the pink. We'll, you know, kind of use them in different ways. So stencil number 1 is now done. And we can do a little peel and reveal here. Isn't that beautiful? The variation in color really adds to the beauty of the blending overall. So just even if you're only using one color of ink, make sure that you're kind of concentrating on doing some light areas and dark areas. Hannah Jr., I don't know, Hannah, where can I buy the box that you put your ink pads in? This is from the Glassboard Studio. It's the same people who make the mat or the work surface that I'm working on. So we'll move into stencil number 2, and I'm gonna line this up, and this is a first layer of the florals. So coming in here, getting that all lined up, and I'm going to use the magnets to hold that down, and I'm going to move into Coral Reef. Now, I did not get this brush out. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the base of the flower, and I'm going to work my way up. So I'm going to get some darkness at the base and then allow it to kind of fade as it works to the top. But we're bringing in several colors to these large open areas. So just keep that in mind. I may not even fill the whole area of the floral with this color because I have more colors to bring in. So I'm just gonna kind of make it a little deeper at the base. Oh, my camera is acting weird. Hold on, let me see if I can fix this real quick. It's, there we go. Nope. Okay, that should fix it. I don't know, it's never done that before. Interesting. What would a Tuesday live be without some technical difficulties? And I'll take that over any of the others that we could have. So, so Coral Reef is the first color. And then I'm going to move this, and we're going to come in with Bubblegum. Now let's do a smaller ink blending brush for Bubblegum. So, we can kind of concentrate in the areas that we want. Now, Bubblegum and Coral Reef are not in the same family, but that doesn't mean you can't use them together, and it doesn't mean they don't look good together. My friend Jen says, I really like the larger scale of this set. Yeah, and these larger openings really do lend themselves to blending in multiple colors on one segment of the stencil, and I think that that makes it a lot of fun. So we're gonna come in with the bubblegum. Look at how cool that bubblegum and the Coral Reef look together. Just so pretty. I love this. I'm not sure I've ever done this a whole lot, and it's inspiring me to actually, it's giving me an idea. It's giving me an idea. Okay, so we have the bubblegum and the Coral Reef, but we're not done yet. We're gonna come in with a little bit of peach fuzz. Okay, just a touch, just a tiny, and we're gonna bring it in. Let's go fluffy. Fluffy brush on the edge, okay? Just towards the tips. Okay, it's gonna look like not a ton right now, and that's okay. But you're gonna get just a hint of that peach fuzz at the tip of this floral, and it's going to just bring this all to life. Now I have to tell you, I was inspired by some of the card projects already created on the Pink Fresh Studio site. We have some amazing design team members, and you'll want to check out the product page for this because there will be a lot of card examples. We need to know your idea. Well, my idea is for a set with the Pink Fresh Studio Create and Connect event that's coming in February. So you'll have to probably wait for that. All right, so stencil number 2, and look at that. Love how the coral reef, the bubble gum, and all of that work together to bring just a really beautiful blend. It wasn't super hard. I didn't spend a ton of time on it, and you don't have to, and that's the beauty of a set like this with some larger images. It really does make it a lot easier to bring in kind of some extra colors. So we're gonna go and line up stencil number 3, hold it in place, and then again, I'm gonna come in with coral reef, just as kind of a light layer over everything, just to bring it, kind of push it to that pink side, okay? And then I'm going to wipe this up. I'm going to bring in Peach Fuzz. This time, I'm going to use a smaller ink blending brush. You know, I just don't have a Peach Fuzz brush. Let's just make one. Okay. So we're gonna come in kind of at the edges with the Peach Fuzz. Okay, let's do this guy kind of like halvesies here. So we're just kind of pushing it towards the orange, and then we're really going to push it over the edge with a little bit of apricot. So we'll take this apricot and bump up the orange just a little. Not in all the areas. We're not going to cover the entire area that we did with the apricot or with the Peach Fuzz, but we're just going to add a little more intensity to the orange areas. Okay. Now let's see if we like this. And if we don't, we'll just put it back down and add a little more pink. I think we need just a touch more pink. So we're gonna leave that in place. That's my peeky. I'm doing a little peek there. See if I like it. We're gonna come back to Coral Reef and let's do a smaller brush and bring a little more intensity of the pink to some of these center areas. So just darkening up that color in some areas. And these will look a little different than the others, but they won't, you know, clash. And now I have the bubblegum brush just on the base of that one. Okay, I think I'm gonna like that a little bit more. So let's peel and reveal on that. Just putting some stuff back here. Oh yes, that's so pretty. I love that. Okay, all right, so we have our florals blended, and now we're gonna work on a background. So I'm gonna just peel this off. I like to just lay it on my desk and roll my mat away from this. We're going to die cut this here in just a moment, but you can see we have all that variation in color. Wasn't hard to do. I mean, you watched me do it. It may take a little bit of practice on your part to learn the touch and how much pressure and all that you need. But overall, that was some pretty simple ink blending, right? Okay, so remember stencil 4 has the sparkles and the little moon. You can stencil that on and the die will cut it out. But for now, I'm just gonna skip that because we're gonna do a ink blended background. So for my ink blended background, I have a piece of A2 size white hammermill cardstock. I'm gonna set it on and we're gonna get super inky. So for this background, we're going to use Tidal Pond first. Okay. And I know I'm going to be inky when this is all said and done because I used this combination the other day and I was a hot mess. Okay, so Tidal Pond, and I'm going to come in from the edges and blend in. Okay, so my lightest area on my background is going to be the center. At least that's the goal. Okay. So in order to achieve that, I'm going to start at the edges and work my way in. I love that Carissa's mat has stained her color. It's really surprising because you can use like even blues and that sort of thing on these mats, and there's more red in some of these colors than you realize, and so overall it just ends up being either pink or brown. So okay, so we're starting out with Tidal Pond around the edge, and this is going to be a background, keep in mind, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to move this over just a little off of my mat, just so that we're not, and that's magnetic, so it's sticking to my work surface there. And I'm just going to blend this. Now, I have a really harsh edge up here. It's okay, trust me. This is going to be in the background of backgrounds, and so we don't need to like lose our stuff over it. It's going to be totally fine. In fact, we'll just lean into it and make that part our darker part, right? So, okay, so now that we've worked the edge, we're going to bring in and come further into the middle, bringing that color into the middle from the edge every single time, so that we get just like this blend from the outer edge into the center where it's going to be lighter. Okay, so we're just going to keep blending until we get the look that we want. All right, and as this dries, the ink will like kind of soak into the cardstock and smooth out. So take a good like mental snapshot of it now and look at how it looks. And then once it dries, it's going to look a little bit smoother, a little bit different. Okay, so we have Tidal Pond done. And now we're going to switch to Atlantis and bring a little bit of depth to this. So coming in with Atlantis, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit bluer, a little less green than the other. And we're going to come into our darkest areas of our blending, and we're going to bring in the Atlantis, okay? So just doing that. It's a great way to look at it. Love that color. Yes, it's so beautiful. I don't use the Tidal Pond and the Atlantis as much as I should. And I've kind of been inspired for these backgrounds recently with it, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. So do you notice I'm bringing the Atlantis in on the edge, but I'm not bringing it all the way in where I've brought the Tidal Pond, because I just want this to add some intensity to my blending around the edge. Okay, so I'm just going to do this, and we'll go like that much-ish. Bring in a little bit to kind of blend it all out. And then take a look. It doesn't look like much now, but it will dry back and it will be beautiful. I'm going to put this guy away because he's pretty inky and I don't want to get him all over me. So, all right. I'm going to move all of my inks out of the way now because I need to make some room. We're going to fold this off. And then we're going to start all of our die cutting, okay? So let's put that out of the way so we don't make a mess. We're going to grab my spray bottle of isopropyl alcohol and we're going to clean up my mat. Okay. Let's get this wiped up. And we'll get ready. We just want to make sure that we're not getting any ink onto, you know, the other areas of our card where we are die cutting and that sort of thing, where we want it to stay white. So we're just going to clean up really well before we move on, and then we can start our die cutting. Question, what do you use to clean your grip mat? My grip mat, I either use, you can use the Pink Fresh Studio Ultra Clean Stamp Spray and then wipe it with a baby wipe afterwards, or you can use a baby wipe, but if you really want to get it clean, the Pink Fresh Studio Ultra Clean Cleaner, or you can use like a gentle soap and some warm water and let it dry. So there's a few options for you depending on the level of clean that you need to get your mat, okay? So it kind of just depends on how clean you need to get your mat. All right, so let's do our die cutting. I'm gonna start out with the coordinating die for the Moonlit Blooms. I'm also going to use the Octagon Grid. And I have my 2 dies for my sentiments. So let's get all of this kind of lined up, held in place, and let's do some die cutting. So for the Octagon Grid, I'm going to use some ivory cardstock. I was inspired by a card I saw on the Pink Fresh Studio Instagram feed. I haven't used the Octagon Grid yet, and so I really wanted. My grip mat is not from Pink Fresh, but I think that something like that might be coming. I think I might have seen a sneak. Dawn soap is good, yes. Octagon Grid die, I haven't used it yet, and I saw a project on the Pink Fresh Studio site, and I was like, I gotta use that in Tuesday's live. So that's what we're doing. Yeah, the Dawn soap works really well for cleaning. Now, one thing I do want to point out, I'm taping my dies in place. You want to make sure that as you're taping, this is not the right die. Let's see, not the right die. Did I drop it? I hear it. Okay, let me get that off the ground. These onto foiled images, I'm going to make sure that my tape is not overlapping the foil if I can at all help it. So I'm going to get it lined up and I'm going to tape it off of the image rather than on the image. Do you see how I'm trying to keep the tape from overlapping any of the foiled areas, because that tape can pull up your foil. So just make sure that you're kind of paying attention to that so that you're not ruining any of your foiled images. Okay, this is the right die. Is it? Okay, what is wrong with me? I don't have the right die again. Let me see. I think I'm missing my die. We might be stuck with that other one. Oh, here it is. Duh. Real life crafting, people. Real life crafting. This is how it happens. Okay, I'm gonna push that down. Make sure I get it lined up. And then get it taped in place. And then our final die is the Moonlit Blooms die. We're gonna do that and then we'll run all of these through. Mabel says the Octagon die may be my favorite Pink Fresh cover plate, that it's on its way. And I am so happy to hear that. Hopefully you'll have all the ideas when it arrives on your doorstep and that today's project inspires you. So let's get this lined up. And again, I'm being careful not to overlap any of my foiling with tape because I don't want to pull up the foiling. I want to keep it in pristine condition. So now that we have this all lined up, we're ready to just run them through one by one. So I'm going to start with the blooms and I'm going to run this through. There's been a lot of really fun ideas with the Octagon Grid. So make sure you check that product page too, because there's tons of inspiration featuring that. Okay, we're gonna do that. We'll set it aside. We need to get off any of these little pieces. put it in our little trash bin over here, because those can put indentations into your future die cut images. So we don't want to do that, right? We don't want sparkle indentations on our Octagon Grid. So we're going to do this. We're going to line all this up and build our sandwich and run this through. Vicky says, I seriously want this entire release. It's so, so good. Monica says, I love your color palette. Awesome. The floral set is beautiful. It's called Moonlit Blooms. It's from the new Flourish and Glow release from Pink Fresh Studio. So it's one of the newest items released. I'm going to pop all of this stuff out of the dies and get it ready to use. So I have a sentiment that says grateful for your kindness. I have a sentiment that says simply blessed to know you, which I think is beautiful. And those are off to the side. I have my Octagon Grid, which I might need to run through again. I think I do. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm glad this actually happened because I can show you guys. If something like this ever happens where you don't get your die cut all the way, it can be like your mats as they get older. Your cutting plates do need to be replaced every now and then. But what you can do is reline this up so you can kind of nestle it back in. Do you see how I can kind of slide it and it kind of locks into place? So once I get it locked into place, I'm going to place it down onto my cutting pad again, rebuild my sandwich, and run that through again. And I only have one piece of this ivory, which is my favorite ivory, which is no longer being sold. So we're going to have to make it work. Okay, then I ran that through again, and now we have it all cut. So let me just take this and get all these pieces into my little trash pile. And now we have this ready to go. And these can be used, these little inner pieces, to build like a little pattern on your card front as well. And then it also die cuts this little frame, which you could die cut out of a different colored cardstock and kind of nestle it in there. I'm not doing that today because we just don't have the time for that today. Okay. Cover plates from, question, Chris, I have the same die cut machine and I'm wondering if the shim would help or not. It would help in that situation. I don't always find that I need the shim. Something like that, you may need the shim. If I can avoid using the shim and get good cuts without the shim, then I generally will not use the shim, just because the added pressure can over time warp the plates more. But on a more detailed or intricate die, you may find that the shims are better just from the get-go. So you just kind of have to, some dies I'm like, I know I need a shim from the get-go. And so it just kind of depends on the die that I'm using. So just keep that in mind, that you may want to use a shim, especially on something with so much surface area and there's like the smaller pieces that need to pop out. So I'm just really going to keep something very simple, just like this, but I am going to do some dimension to kind of make everything pop up a little bit more. I need to grab, I have some adhesive, foam adhesive strips, and I meant to grab these before we started, but I didn't. So these are some thin foam adhesive strips. These in particular are from scrapbook.com. So I'm going to add this to the back, and we're going to chat while we do some foam adhesive, because this is quite a bit. I'm going to just snip down some pieces so we can get them in place. All right. You guys have any questions for me? Yes, the unboxing for the February event kit is tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time. Don't forget to set your reminders. Turn on the notifications here at Pink Fresh Studio on the YouTube channel. Subscribe and turn on those notifications. That will let you know anytime that we go live, anytime we post a video, so you won't miss out on stuff like that. Melissa's really excited for the unboxing tomorrow. I hope you are all planning on attending. There's some great instructors. I will be there. Kathleen will be there. JC Gaspar, Giannis Makula. And I'm not giving away any secrets because I believe this has already all been on social media. So we're good on that. I love all the Pink Fresh cover plates. I have a bunch of them. We'll be adding more. Yeah, and there were some really good ones in this most recent release. The Flourish and Glow release has a few new cover plates. They're great basics. And sometimes just that little bit of texture on a card front can be just what a simple card needs to give it that finished feel. You can create impressions with your cover plate dies as well. And I believe, yes, I shared that in last week's video. So there is a video tutorial showing how to make an impression with the cover plate. And I show you it with the Anna Griffin Empress as well as with the Platinum 6 from Spellbinders. So a couple different ways that you can create an impression with a cover plate die. And that's already on the Pink Fresh Studio YouTube channel. It's a pre-recorded video. So check that out if you want to learn more about creating impressions with cover plate dies. You can really do it with any type of die, but cover plates tend to be really impactful because they give you that texture all over your card front. So hang in here with me. Is it noon central? Wait, what's noon central? I thought it was... question, do you have a runner-up ivory cardstock, Summer 2 Yellow? I don't yet. I don't. I'm looking for it. I'm looking for my true love in the ivory cardstock since this one is no longer available. And I agree with you. Some are too yellow. And so I may just have to have my own cardstock line. I don't know. And bring it back. Okay. So we have foam adhesive all over these. So let's just start pulling the backers off. I know this is tedious. I could have cut a couple of layers of the Octagon Grid, but I chose to do it like this today. So just hang in there with me. It will be worth it. I promise. We're doing okay on time. We may run a couple minutes behind just because we had a lot to get to news-wise this morning, so we didn't start crafting right away. Also, Kathleen can throw a link to this, but don't forget, because we talked about this at the beginning, but if you came in late, you may have missed it. 20% off of all essential dies over at Pink Fresh Studio through October 30th at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. You don't want to miss that. There's no code. It's the weekly promo. Pink Fresh does some generous weekly promos, so make sure you keep your eye out on the Pink Fresh Studio Instagram channel and the newsletter to get up-to-date information on all of that stuff as well. So we're just pulling off backers, and this piece, I don't know what happened to it, but it's getting replaced. Okay, let's do that. Okay, and now I'm gonna move this out of the way because I have a little tray over here that I can put all of my trash into, so you all do not have to look at it. Okay, but it's wanting to stick. I'm gonna grab a clean Pink Fresh Studio brush. Nope, it really wants to stick to my work surface. Okay. All right, we're cleaned up. We've got all of our items ready to go. Trust me, we're gonna finish up here in just a few minutes. I'm gonna line this up onto my card front. get it as centered as I can and place that down so it has a little bit of dimension. Okay, just like that. Then pre-live stream, I cut a couple of layers of white cardstock using the Moonlit Blooms. So I'm going to do this, and I'm just going to put some liquid glue onto the front side of this. So this is 3 layers of white cardstock die cut with the Moonlit Blooms. So this is just going to give it some dimension. Now, can you do foam adhesive for this? Yes, you can. This is going to give it a much more solid base as it kind of straddles the open areas of the card front. So I'm just going to do it like this. Kathleen created a really beautiful card where she did like an offset underlay of the Moonlit Blooms. And that was absolutely beautiful with some foil, I believe. I believe that was you, Kathleen. That octagon die looks so cool and different than anything I've seen lately. Yeah, that is, it's a fun geometric. It would be a great, sometimes when you get those geometrics, masculine cards can be hard, right? It would be a great one for a masculine card because I think geometrics always work really well for a masculine card. It pairs really nicely with florals. It also pairs nicely with greenery. So I'm just going to do some liquid glue on the front side of this. Line that up. And then place it underneath this heavy block. And that gives it some real, like, sturdiness on that card. So I'm thinking we may only use like this piece, and then we could save the other one, and we could put just a little sentiment right here. I did do sentiments ahead of time that are stacked up. Simply blessed to know you. I'm thinking I like the single of this. I don't know what you guys think. You think we can just do a single? I think we can. And then this one could be a totally separate card, and I already have a greeting to go with it. Let's do that. So this could be a whole nother card. We'll set it aside. I have that ready to go for a card project. We're gonna stack up this sentiment here. Lovely combination. This is gorgeous. Yeah, and you could use both of these, but I think I'm going to keep it on the simpler side and just use one. Love it with the single, says Donna. Good. I'm so glad. Sometimes you guys don't like my choices, but today, maybe you do. That's great. I'm loving this, actually. Just something simple like that. It's kind of hard to see the sentiment with the glare of the lights, but this is what I'm thinking. This will go all onto an A2 sized card base. So I'm just going to put some liquid glue kind of down the center. I'm not going to go crazy because not all of this will actually touch areas where it will be adhered. So I'm just going to put like a little bit of glue. It'll be enough, trust me. And then I think I'll bring it down kind of like this. Let it hang off the side. Yes, remember thumbs up, everybody. Thumbs up. Showcases the background better. Yeah, I love that we have that darkness coming into the light, and then the light is going to highlight like our sentiment, our floral here. I'm going to do that. So I'll add just a little bit of liquid glue again, like I did on the other. I'm not going to put it everywhere because not everywhere will have an overlap. I'm trying to think, do I want it further down? Do I want it further up? I think right here. So let's go there with that. Okay, just hold that there for just a second. Yeah, and the background really does kind of make it all pop, right? This will all just go right onto an A2 size card base. So I'm going to just use some tape runner adhesive. I pre-made the card base. I'm bringing it in for a landing here. I think we're gonna be done on time. If we do some embellishments, we might run like a couple minutes over. Okay. Tape runner onto a card base, and let's talk about embellishments, shall we? Love this. Love. I have some champagne glitter drops, and I think we just sprinkle a few here and there to kind of bring this all together. Excuse me, you cannot go there. Don't forget to hit thumbs up. I'm gonna tell Kathleen, if you want to start with our winners, I will look up in just a second. Whoever receives this card better be completely in awe. If it were me, hint, hint, I would definitely be. That is so funny. You are so sweet. I'm so glad you like it. I aim to inspire you every time I come, and so hopefully you leave with some inspiration and some ideas for color combos, some tips and tricks. Remember, if you're watching on the replay, don't forget to let us know your favorite part about today's card or the favorite tip that you picked up. Tomorrow, noon. Did I say the wrong time? Did I say the wrong time? Tomorrow, noon Central. Kathleen, did I read that wrong? I swear I had it. Live unboxing, oh, at noon. I totally did. Tomorrow's live unboxing is at noon Central. I totally messed that up. It's all my fault. It's at noon Central tomorrow. Tomorrow's live unboxing for the February 2026 Create and Connect event is at noon. See how I mess things up even when I write them down because I wrote it down wrong. I'm going to ask for forgiveness, and I'm going to ask you to reset that alarm that you set earlier for 9 Central and reset it to noon Central to watch the unboxing of the kit for February 2026 Create and Connect. And then you'll be able to register Thursday starting at 9. That one's 9 for sure. Okay, let's do that. I'm gonna trade this little skinny tiny out for a medium. Picking the winners in a second. Yes, please pick the winners in just a second. I keep popping my head up to look, Kathleen. So hopefully I'll see that. I have them kind of sprinkled in. It's hard to see, but let's get them glued down and then I can kind of hold this up. We still love you, Carissa. Thank you. Thank you for forgiving me. I appreciate it. We all need a little forgiveness sometimes, don't we? As much as I try to make sure that everything is just right, sometimes things happen. But we're not going to jinx it, but I will take note that the internet seems to be behaving today. We did have a technician out here last week to look into it. Carissa, you are the bling professional. Thank you. Let's see. The winners are Vicky. Well, Vicky really wanted to win today, so I'm glad she won. And Lori Sickavish. That's how I'm going to go with it. I probably said it wrong, and I apologize if I said it wrong, but those are our winners, Vicky and Lori. You're going to email customer service at pinkfreshstudio.com. Oh, shoot. We just messed that up. And you're going to claim your prize with customer service. They'll get those sent out to you in a few days. Give them a few days processing time to get your gift cards sent out to you. I do want to remind you, if you're watching on the replay, then don't forget to leave us a comment in the comments section and tell us what you liked about today's card project. Let's see, you guys are a little blown out, but here we go. We have our card finished up featuring Moonlit Blooms. This is the Octagon Grid. And then this sentiment is from the Freesia Flourish. So we're actually using a few different sets from the new Flourish and Glow release, which you can check out now. If you haven't picked it up already, you'll want to get your hands on some of these products because they are absolutely fabulous. I'm going to come back to, also you can absolutely use those gift cards on the event registration. That would be awesome. What an awesome idea. I honestly didn't even think of that. Just want to say to all of you who joined us live or on the replay, we're so glad you're here. Don't forget, we have so much coming up at Pink Fresh Studio live at noon Central Time. Tomorrow, October 29th, noon Central, is the live unboxing of the February 2026 Create and Connect event from Pink Fresh Studio. You can register for that event on Thursday starting at 9 a.m. Central Time. And if you go over to the product page now and hit notify me, a restock notification, it will send you an email as soon as that event is live. Also, don't forget to shop this week's promo, which is 20% off of the Essentials dies. You can grab a couple of those to kind of enhance your cards as you shop the Moonlit Blooms or any of the products that we use today. All of those are linked in the YouTube description below. And finally, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. I will actually be back here live with you all next week at noon Central Time, so don't forget to join me. Thank you so much, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.